Yes, welcome back to another huge edition of All In. Myself, Mick Gannon, Dean Watling from deanwatling.com, and Lewis Willoughby from Sky Racing join you this Monday afternoon as we look forward to the feature racing, I should say, this Saturday, All-Star Mile and Coolmore Classic ahead. Good afternoon, Lewis Willoughby.
Yeah, afternoon all. Bit of an off week, I thought, but I think it's nice to have a little breather with just the one feature race in both Sydney and Melbourne, because then from next weekend, Golden Slipper weekend, it becomes 3 to 4 Group 1s a Saturday just in the one state alone. So don't mind just having the one Group 1 to focus on and an All-Star Mile. The feature card there in Sydney, the Group 2s and 3s, they are hot, really hot. And they're looking like they're going to get some good fields assembled. So it should be another good Saturday.
Absolute cracker. And Dean Watling, how was your weekend? Any winners on Saturday?
It's a tricky day Saturday. I think Switzerland was maybe one of my only winners, but it was really good days racing. Plenty of upsets in the NRL and in the racing. So if you're a fan of a bit of juicy odds, I think you're laughing. But it's good. Monday, Aussies just beat New Zealand in an emphatic Test match win. So I'm up and about. Good racing this week. Good 2-year-old racing as we move into the Golden Slipper next week. So I'm excited, fellas.
Yeah, good to see you got the All Blacks colours on, so that's great. And no man has ever watched as much sport as you. It's incredible. The NFL finishes and the cricket just takes over. And you're in rugby league era, and here you are, just keep pumping out the hours. Someone's got to do it, hey Lou.
True that.
Hey, lads, let's kick off. Just a quick recap of last Saturday's racing. Some really good races. Imperatrice, she was pretty game down there, down the straight, carrying the top weight cylinder, obviously over the top. Great story, great narrative in regards to Jamie Carr, Godolphin, and the story around those colours from previous years. How was the race upon reflection for you, Lou?
Yeah, it was good. I'm annoyed at myself because I tipped Cylinder first up, thinking that they could have stolen a Group 1 for the CV, which James Cummings was so bullish on him getting this preparation. And I jump off in this race and he wins. So frustrating for me. But she was, was very good. Jamie Carr, was also very good. It was a touching moment. And I know that they were good friends. Both obviously did a lot of riding in Adelaide and they've got a lot of connections down there. So I'm sure that was very special for her. And to spend it with obviously Dean's kids post-race was really nice. So I thought it was one of the stories of the day that there. And yeah, a deserved winner. You can obviously forgive the Kiwi Imperatrice who pulled up with EIPH. Do you think that she's probably still not the horse she was last preparation? I'd say yes, even with the excuse. But yeah, what it might do now is give you good odds in a William Reid, which she's looking to atone and get back into the winner's stall for. So I don't think she's done. Probably a bit below, but definitely excuses on Saturday.
Yeah, well summed up. You will probably get better odds, but I don't think they'll give you much better than $2. You might be getting $1.50, $1.80. But look, you might, and it all depends on who lines up. They might think she's more vulnerable now, are willing to go there. That run would have taken it out of her, though. I have no doubt about that whatsoever. Dino, what were your feelings on the weekend? Espiona, obviously, we were all keen on her. I think she would have been gone very, very close in the race. We see what she did in Sydney. She clearly doesn't do her best work in Sydney, and that Flemington Straight, we probably see the best out of her so far. How do you think a horse like Espiona would have lined up, and where do you think next for her?
Yeah, well, I'd love to see her and Private Eye go to the Newmarket. It's a terrific race. I think we'll just add layers to it. Yeah, you make a great point. You look at the race on the weekend, Espiona, her head's to the side. She wants to lay out badly, which she tends to do in Sydney. And then you look at her first night run down the straight and a lightning, and she's gun-barreled straight. So I don't know. It's frustrating as punters. I think we've got to look at it a little bit different, though. I guess they've got a bigger organisation, bigger targets, bigger setup, being a trainer and a jockey. So it's hard, but you can only see what you see as a punter. And I think as a punter that it maybe was the wrong call in the end. If she wins, obviously we change our mind, but she didn't. Would have loved to see her down there if she wins. I don't know. I think if you get Cylinder winning the race and she gets the weight off Imperatrice like she did last start, I think she probably goes really close to winning the race. But it was great. I probably didn't think about the narrative too much until post-race when it sort of all fell into place. And remember that Jamie was obviously meant to ride in secret before the fall. Then Dean Holland jumped on and rode it to win. And then Jamie comes back 12 months later, wins it aboard in the same silks. So fantastic story. And Gunnar, you found it. So props to you. I've been the 3-year-olds. And of course, the weekend I've been them to come out and win a Group 1 against the older horses.
Yeah, unfortunately for the sake of this show, I found it after the SB owner was scratched. But anyway, hopefully a few of the listeners were listening to our weekend preview on a Thursday. Righto, lads, let's kick off here. The All-Star Mile, look, fair to say that's pretty disappointing field they've attracted for the prize money. I think it's $5 million. Lou, correct me if I'm wrong there. But pretty disappointing field. Mr. Brightside, $1.80. Pride of Jenny, $3.50. Cascadian, third in line there, $11. Eton, $15. Desert Lightning, $15. Pericles, $15. Eton back to Caulfield, which some may say is a plus there. Looks pretty clear cut though. Pride of Jenny will roll forward, give you massive sight, and will Mr. Brightside be able to catch it? Louis, how do you see the All-Star Mile unfolding?
It is such a disappointing race. I'm sorry, I have to say it. It's the whole concept has just completely fallen apart, unfortunately. It was always going to be a struggle from the start because it was based on fan votes, and horses with huge syndicates who are benchmark 58 pluggers just used to vote themselves into the race and get lapped by the horses they gave spots to that were Group 1 winners. Something needs to happen down there, and I'm sure it will. But there's still a winner for the race, I guess. I would probably back Pride of Jenny just at the price and the percentages play, like she's going to lead. It doesn't look as though there's a whole lot of speed in this race, to be fair. Mr. Brightside will be handy. But then you've got third in betting Cascadian, who's going to be well back. Ayrton can be handy, but he's certainly no leader. Desert Lightning, I've got no idea. And yeah, so I don't know. I think that it's a pretty soft lead for Pride of Jenny, who can improve. And at the price, I thought she might be the play. Dino, what did you think in the race?
Yeah, I think touching on the race itself, I think the biggest thing coming out of it is sometimes you need something to be really bad compared to moderate so that changes can happen. So I think next year we'll see something done by it, which is the biggest thing coming out of the best part about it coming out of it. So yes, we might have a low year this year, but the people in charge of this race will make sure next year it's a great race. Oh, I agree with you, Lou. I think Pride of Jenny has an attribute that Mr. Brightside doesn't, and that's the ability to set a higher cruising speed out in front, dictate a race. We know where she's going to be. I think she's been terrific the first 2 runs this preparation. An extra 200 metres here suggests that she can probably lengthen them out a bit more and use that attribute to win the race. I just couldn't take the price. Mr. Brightside comes down to price. He's a terrific horse, and yes, he keeps winning, but I'm all about price at Gano. I would be more than happy to suggest to back Pride of Jenny all in at around that $3.60 price.
Love it. There you go. I had no opinion. I looked and I actually spent a fair bit of time on it and I still couldn't work out a bit. So let's just wait and see what the barriers do. But as far as all in plays, proper fence sitting over here. Right, let's go to Rose Hill. The Coolmore Classic is going to be warm up here in Sydney over the next few days. No rain on the radar. Dino, how do you think that sort of shapes up? Are the rails in the true position, but it's going to be dry, and assuming they don't put obscene amounts of water on, you're going to get a hard and fast sort of racing surface.
Yes, you are, and we know the setup of, obviously, we're back to Rose Hill now. 1500 metre setup for the Coolmore is fine. I think 11, 1200 metre shoot races, you'd be definitely forward of midfield. It should be all right. It's going to be a big field, so pressure's going to be on. But in saying that, I don't think Rose Hill's a track you want to be looking at anything beyond midfield to be running on down the outside. The rail truce tends to play pretty fair as long as it's not absolutely bone dry, which they haven't been allowing these Sydney tracks to do. So I would suggest forward of midfield's a safe option, Gano. Depends. Sometimes it can be fenced in run though, and you probably know the track. That's similar to me.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to make up ground. That's just the way the track does play when it's hard and fast, but it'll be reasonably fair, I'd say, for most part. That you're spot on. 11, 1200 metre race is slightly different beast. All right, Coolmore Classic. Zugotcha 450. Lady Laguna will be on the quick backup if she goes here. $6. Samana $6. Tropical Squall $8. And Jenny Lala $11. Revolutionary Miss $11. Vienna Princess $11. And a Tissue $15. Hinged. Not sure if they're the conditions that you want for Hinged, $15. And Madame Pomery rounds out the top hopes, $15. Dino, kick us off, Coolmore Classic.
Yeah, good race. Zugotcha was terrific first up. I did get every possible favour. I'd suggest I'd be waiting for her to race day to see what barrier she draws. I don't think there's any juice at all in the price. I struggled with this one, to be honest. I thought a Tissue maybe had a little bit of juice, but I don't know if she's 100% coming up here. She's obviously a really good Flemington horse and probably maybe looking for 2,000 now, back to 1,500 metres of concern. Louis, I'm going to do a gunner in fence it. I could not find an edge or a spec at all in this race. I think the 3-year-old makes it interesting, but I've been against them, so I couldn't suggest Tropical Squall. So I'll leave it up to you, Lou.
Yeah, this is a great race, but it is hard, isn't it? I don't really know what to do. I think, well, what do we think? Lady Laguna, do they go back up? I think Annabelle Neesham said prior to the weekend's Group 1 win that they were going to. If they come here, Zugotcha in the Millie Fox went straight past it, really, and ran good time and a good margin spread. So you'd probably fancy Zugotcha, but then Lady Laguna's come out a bit more fitness now and a Group 1 winner. So there's a chance to say that she could turn the table. Samana's a really interesting one. The Kiramar team obviously keeping it fresh between runs, which seems to work. It'll be 4 weeks again between runs, just like it was leading into the Gold Coast victory and the last start win. Okay, sure, it was only benchmark. Not this grade, not Group 1 grade, but it's taking all before it. And then Tropical Squall, again, another one who has that map advantage, is going to come here if it comes here and lead and run a really big race. So as you just heard, I can make cases for all of them in single figures. And then even horses like Jenny Lala, who have trialled here since their last start in Melbourne and trialled really well, could be knockout chances. I get you with the tissue as well. That's a big price if it lobs up at $15, but maybe he's looking for 2,000. Even a horse like Deny Knowledge first up to this 1,500 metre distance could go forward and be hard to catch. It's going to be a good race when it assembles, and we'll know more then, plus barriers. As it stands in this market, could I steer you into a bet without knowing how it's going to fall? Probably not. Gun to my head, though, I think Zugotcha's returned really well and could be the winner.
Dino, do you know if Renaissance Woman's going to this race?
Yeah, it is. And I'm pretty sure Deny Knowledge is first up into this race as well for Michael Kent. And Renaissance Woman does go there as well. I think Yonsei potentially as well. So
is Rachel aboard, meant to be aboard Renaissance Woman? Do we know?
Yeah, possibly. I think she will be aboard. Yeah, pretty sure she should.
Yeah, so I think you're getting $51, $13.50 to the place. I thought Renaissance Woman has a pretty good second up record. I don't think it does. She does. And I thought that on a place basis, you could back Renaissance Woman to place. Lady Laguna will have to carry 58 kilos. That's going to be a test up to 1,500 metres. A tissue, I doubt they'll go here. That's 60 kilos there.
Weight-wise.
Yeah, 60 kilos. So I think Tropical Squall, 54.5 kilos, is a horse that I'm probably willing to have a small bet on, really small bet, because I think she's also nommed for the Farlap Stakes. So it's going to be careful which way they go here, and hence Renaissance Woman will be on the place, will be my all-in play. Luigi, you have something to
add? No.
You look like you're up and about, ready to add to that.
No, sorry, no. Scratch my
see my facial recognition's off. Hey, lads, let's have a look at the Ajax Stakes. Another wheel, $3.50. Tabby Time, $4. Amore Victorious, $7. New Energy, $7. Glory Days. He has to win, might have to win a race to get into the Doncaster, $9. Attractable, $13. Democracy Manifest, $13. Detonator Jack, $13. Jimmy Star, $13. Palmetto, $17. Along with the rest. Dino, the Ajax Stakes.
Yep. I won't spend much time. Leave me out of this race. I need it to come together for race day to figure this out. I think it's a really good race. Tabby Time, brilliant winning the other day. So was another wheel. Bjorn Baker has more victorious running through brick walls. So good race, Lou. But again, I am struggling to find an avenue to suggest a bet here in the Ajax.
Yeah, it's a great race. I've got a lot of time for these top two, Another Will and Tabby Time. I think they're very, very smart horses and are going places. In saying that, though, I'm going to spec Glory Days, $9 a win, $3 a place. Huge win last start. Okay, it was benchmark company, but it looked way better than benchmark grade in doing so. Eased down on the line. Time was good. The sectionals were good. And I think deserves a crack against this field. Is it to the talent of the top two, maybe three? No, but it's not far and can easily improve to give this race a real shake. So similar to your play in the previous Gunner, albeit very far from the $51 odds. At $3 a place, I could see it definitely fighting out the finish with these others. Another Will's flying in Victoria, and Tabby Time comes off booking its spot into the provincial championships, and this looks a good tick-over test against some much better horses than it'll be facing in that final, you'd think, on day 2 of the championships there at Randwick. Jimmy Star, I don't know where it's going to pop up next. but I just thought I'd mention it because if it's going around at something like $13, and I saw you speak on radio about it this morning, Dino, wherever this goes, I think you're going to get a lot of people jumping off, which is good because I don't think you should be at all. We can go on and on about what's been happening in this preparation, but I'm just running out of air. And good on Tyler Schiller. He copped so much stick, Tyler Schiller, for that ride, and then comes out the next day, rides a Group 1, then goes to wherever they were racing yesterday at Canberra for the Black Opal Day and rides a few there. So he just gave the big up yours to everyone who potted him for that ride. But yeah, don't jump off Jimmy Star. It was super unlucky. That is all there is to it. And first up, I think, was just beaten by a better horse on the day. If you get a price about it somewhere, it's going to still be running very well.
Yep, spot on. It's a horse that will explode. It just needs to get the right race shape. It is not I don't think Jimmy Star is the most versatile horse in the game. And I think if he gets his right race shape, you're going to see the best version of him at a track like Randwick when you can get to the middle. You've got to draw a gate. Unfortunately, a lot of these horses, most horses, need things to go their way. Dino, any opinion? You've had your opinion in that race, haven't you? I tend to agree with Louis on Glory Days, though. I think they've got to win this to get into a Doncaster, or win this, or then it's their next start. So it'll be up to the mark and good to go. I think Glory Days places a great bet, Lou. Magic Night Stakes, Dino, you were pretty keen on something here at a guess, and these are 280 Castagna, maybe 450, Shadow Miraval 450, Fly 450, Drifting $8. Can you just go next door and ask Timmy to open his shoulders up on these odds, Louis? Fair dinkum. Dino, what do you like in the Magic Nights?
And Xena, for me, I think that form's really stacked up coming out of a Blue Diamond. I think we saw Traffic Warden come out and win on the weekend, a couple of others. I know it's short, but I love these 2-year-old races. I'm going to chime in, and I'd be chiming in that price. Are you going to get the same price come Barry's? You probably are, to be honest, but I really like her in this race. So am I suggesting chips in now, all in? Probably not. Am I suggesting she'll win the race? Yes, heavily. I think the danger is Fly, Gano, who I know you've got a lot of time for.
Yep. I was pretty clean Fly, not at that price, though, so we'll just wait and Fly will probably be $9 or $10 come Saturday, and then we might be able to have a bet. But yeah, that's pretty stacked sort of at the top of the order there. Louis, any opinion on the Magic Night?
Awesome. No,
thank you. Last time you said that you had a tip, though. The
I know, and it still didn't win.
Yeah, what was it? What was it again?
I don't even know.
Gatsby $2.30, Anode $5, Coleman $5, Giovanna $7, King of Rousseau $9, and Parkour $9. Along with the rest, I don't really see anything down the order there. Spywire $17, a horse that might be known to a few there. Dino.
Yeah, I'm known to a few of Lady of Camelot back as Spywire. I like this race. Gatsby is a dead set group cult in the making. His debut win was phenomenal. Interesting, Rosalind Star, who ran second and was a terrific run, as good as Gatsby. Goes around on Wednesday in the first race. So we'll get a good form guy there, but he is a proper horse. I think he might be a JJ Atkins horse or a size horse. But I think Gatsby will be taking care of this field. And if he does, he has a similar profile to Shinzo, who won the Pago last year before going on to win the Golden Slipper. So timing's everything. I don't know if he's up to winning a slipper with Stormboy there, but I think he's an absolute proper group class 2-year-old colt, Lou.
It's funny. I want to ask you guys, we spoke about it a few weeks ago. Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott have had this amazing season with 2-year-olds, but they need to win a big Group 1 feature for it to really pay off, right? Isn't Chris Waller just at the right time, just this perfect time, starting to sneak up with a few? He's got Gatsby's, he's got Switzerland, who J-Mac came out and said is the one to beat in this slipper, whether that's
real Kiwi vibes, that one.
I think he might have been peddling to Ryan Moore. I think he was also peddling because it's a Coolmore colt, and he's not going to come out and say, no, you still got to beat Stormboy. I think he's obviously going to put the polish on what he says post-race, but I don't know. I don't have a dog in the fight, whichever way the 2-year-old winners go. But gee, I'd be just making sure if I was the Waterhouse and Bot team that I've got them right up the mark because Chris Waller is coming with his 2-year-olds.
Yeah,
it's absolutely. Like a team making the finals finish on top, and then you get to the finals and you're out the back door, isn't it? But I'm sure that stable's phenomenal. But you got to be, so careful with Waller and his little team. He's so unassuming, and then they just bob up.
Yeah, well, you'd be stiff to get beat this time around. They got 5 of the top 6 in the market, so different gravy this time around. But yeah, I agree. Switzerland's a huge chance, and that's a good segue, Lou. You haven't read the rundown. There's no doubt about that. You wouldn't have read it at all. But Let's go to the Golden Slipper and have a little bit of a chat about the Golden Slipper. Firstly, bit of a market. Stormboy 230, Switzerland 450, Straight Charge $9, Espionage 11s, Hayasugi 15, Lady of Camelot 15, Shangri-La Express 15, Bodyguard 17. Lads, if you had to have a bet now off that market and assume that your horse drew a reasonable middle barrier, Louis, what would it be?
You know what? I'd probably let's say it's looking like a racing two, right? It is looking semi between Switzerland and Stormboy. The others are very good, and the one that Switzerland beat on the weekend, Straight Charge, did very well to keep on running after being taken on his butt. So it's a chance. Let's say though that it is just a racing two between those top two. I'd probably back the one that's higher in the market, Switzerland at 450. Hope that it draws well. Stormboy draws the car park, and then you're on at a better price, and you can maybe lay some off. That would be my plan at this stage. I don't think I could take Stormboy at 220, just not knowing where it will draw. So yeah, I'd just lean towards the one at a better price and hope that you land a good barrier. What could happen is Switzerland could draw the outside and Stormboy could draw 3, and it's game, set, match, right? But that's all in, that's punting. So you just kind of try and get on at a good price and hope that cards fall your way.
Yep, love it. Dino, how would you play the Golden Slipper market as it stands?
I think Stormboy wins the race. Do you want to take the price? Probably not. I think the one currently you could back is Straight Charge. Barriers mean a lot, but with his pattern, I don't think it means as much as it probably means for Switzerland and a couple of others. He's just going to roll to the front, cross them. And we know that has been a good pattern for the Slipper. I thought he was as good, if not better, than Switzerland on the weekend. You've got to understand that Switzerland had every possible failure there to run over the top, and he did. But Straight Charge got absolutely carved up by the Queensland horse. So I think Stormboy wins the race and wins it well. Betting-wise, Straight Charge, you can maybe back a place. And I think the one that they've forgotten about a little bit is Lady of Camelot, who did trial this morning, $4.50. So maybe them to place bet, Gano. And interesting to see as well, there's a bit of news out this morning that Tommy Berry jumps on, Espionage, and Nash jumps off. So I think there's been a change of a booking there for the Golden Slipper.
There you go. Wow, yeah, I think Straight Charge is probably the place is the value. I thought that he was really, really good, and the race shape was completely against. So, but that's the Golden Slipper. Lads, give us your midweek best bets. Louis, kick us off.
I have no idea, mate. You'll have to go to Dino while I find one. Sorry.
Unbelievable stuff. DeanWatling.com. What do you got for the midweek best bets?
I'll tell you what, this Kensington meeting is one of the best midweek meetings I've seen. No prices out just yet. Roslyn Star Race 1, number 1, around second beyond Gatsby, who I think is a terrific horse. I think it will be winning. Do we get a price? I'm not too sure, but I think it will be winning the race. And there's another one that I'm just trying to find. Give me 2 secs. I should be able to find it. Race 3, number 9, Little Genie, a New Zealand import for Waller and J-Mac, gate 3. It will be winning race 3. So race 1, number 1, and race 3, number 9, Little Genie. Gunner?
Love that, Louis. Why don't you save yours and put it on the YouTube so that way the punters have complete faith that you've done your full amount of homework.
I go on. The reason I wasn't ready is because I didn't think we'd finish the previews yet. I wanted to mention one in the Far Lap Stakes. Who
Unbelievable. I'm
maybe
so sorry.
Going here, order the Group 1s. It's Roll On High, the Moody and Coleman runner. It is absolutely flying. It's $3.50 favourite for the Far Lap Stakes. That's probably not the right price, seeing it's entered in a few other races. And it's a good race, that Far Lap. Macarena, Saltcoats, Twiddle of Vita, another one in there as well. So it's no walkover, but I really like this Roll On High, and it's one I want to follow this autumn out in Trip. Perhaps a Vinery could be on its radar. I'm not too sure exactly where it's going, but I think it's going very, very well. And if it does lob up on Saturday, I'd be interested to see where and then what price. I just thought I'd throw that one in. For a midweek play, Kenzo, race 5, number 6, Cigar Flick. Barrier 2, James McDonald, Chris Waller. It's had the one trial leading into this at Rose Hill and trialled very, very well under a good hold. So if it lobs up here in a very winnable race, that's the way I'll be playing.
Boys are very keen midweek on a Wednesday at Warwick Farm. Hey, up and about, lads. Hey, Kensington. That's even. I thought you said Warwick Farm was at the trial. Sorry, Louis, was it?
Yeah. I don't know. Yes, maybe.
Anyway, that shows how far I've gone with my form, because my midweek best bet comes at Goulburn tomorrow. I haven't got to Warwick Farm yet. Race 5, number 13, Miss Yucatel, for the Adrian Bott and Gay Waterhouse stable, getting a big price around $9. This horse will get to a suitable trip and be rocketing down the middle of the track late. And the way that track played last time, just on speed, but get wide, and that'll be the place to be if it's anything like it was.
You got to jump the outside fence, don't you?
If you can get to the outside fence and beyond, that's a good place.
Or beyond, yeah.
Down near the hot dog stall, Dino.
In front of the bookie, yeah.
Hey, lads.
I was going to say bookie stand.
Yeah, the bookie stands, exactly. Or the latte stands, where Louis would be. Oh. Now, we didn't do this. We've had an absolute stinker this week because I've been too busy, just like I'm all over the shop, and I didn't get your best all-in play. But now's the time, Louis. Give us your best all-in play for this Saturday.
Well, I'm all over the shop today. What races have we spoken about? Glory Days. Glory Days, $9 and $3. That's where I'm going. And that play in the All-Star Mile for Pride of Jenny.
Love it. Glory Days a place for me. Best all-in play by a long way. Dino?
My best all in play, the Pago Stakes Gatsby. No real spoils the price. I just think he's a terrific horse. So not going to look to find something at big odds. Just going to find a horse I think is going to win the race. So Pago Gatsby.
That's a Chris Waller train runner, and I thought we barred them because they didn't turn up. Dino, instead of barring them, is going for 4 weeks in a row. Let's hope that Gatsby turns up in the Pago.
He'll be there.
Dead set. Hey, lads, it's been good fun. Next week, big week, enormous week, Golden Slipper. We'll go through all the key players there, and we'll see if we can have a chat with a couple of trainers, get some inside word as to how their horses are going. I'll give you guys some homework. We can come with a huge show. Make sure you're subscribing, thegreattipoff.com, YouTube. Leave your comments below. Let us know who you think's going to win the double, the All-Star Mile and the Coolmore, because, well, it's pretty simple stuff at the All-Star Mile. Hard to get that wrong. And you got two choices, really. Louis, how do we see your work, pal?
Sky One, Morning Line. Don't know who I'm interviewing this week. We did Mitch Beer a few weeks ago. It was a good chat. He's got that Greyhound Dango Larry. It's flying. It's like favourite for a golden Easter egg or some crazy stuff.
Rich get richer.
Yeah. One for the battlers, of course. No, Sky One every morning. I'll be there.
Beautiful. DeanWatling.com. Get your all Dino's stuff. And the GoTipOff.com, search Mick Gannon. Simple as that, lads. Easy as you like. Leave your comments. We want to hear more. Georgie, mate, keep commenting. Louis loves the long ones. He likes something to read long, extended pieces. So if you can keep that going, that'll be great. Until next week.
Characters or less, please, George, please.
Good stuff. No, I love it. It's great feedback, and it's good to see someone actually watches other than our parents. Righto. Thanks, lads. Bye for now.
Ciao.
Cheers, boys.